The year was 1858. A grand asylum, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, rose from the hills of Weston, West Virginia. It was a beacon of hope designed to provide refuge for the mentally ill. Architect Richard Andrews envisioned a sanctuary. His vision included sprawling wings, therapeutic surroundings, and compassionate care. The asylum was a testament to progress, a testament that would soon crumble. The asylum's beauty was skin deep. Behind its impressive facade, a darker reality was brewing. The Civil War cast a long shadow over the asylum. Resources dwindled and the promised sanctuary became a prison. The asylum, once a symbol of hope, was transforming into a house of horrors. The post-war years brought little relief. The asylum, built for 250, overflowed with over 2,400 patients. The weight of their suffering pressed down on the asylum's very foundation. The once pristine halls became overcrowded and chaotic. The air grew heavy with the stench of sickness and despair. Patients, stripped of their dignity, wasted away in cramped, unsanitary conditions. The asylum, intended as a sanctuary, had become a breeding ground for madness. The staff, overwhelmed and ill-equipped, struggled to maintain control. Whispers of abuse and neglect began to surface. The darkness within the asylum deepened, seeping into its very walls. It was a darkness that would never truly leave. In the 20th century, new horrors unfolded within the asylum's walls. The once promising institution, originally built to provide care and solace, had transformed into a house of nightmares. The very walls seemed to absorb the suffering of its inhabitants, creating an atmosphere thick with despair and hopelessness. Experimental treatments, brutal and dehumanizing, became commonplace. These so-called treatments were often conducted without the consent of the patients, who were seen as mere subjects for medical experimentation. The doctors, driven by a misguided sense of scientific progress, subjected the patients to unimaginable pain and suffering. Lobotomies, intended to sever the ties to madness, often left patients worse off. The procedure, which involved inserting a sharp instrument into the brain, was supposed to calm the patients. Instead, it frequently resulted in severe cognitive and emotional impairments, leaving many in a vegetative state. The promise of relief from mental illness turned into a cruel joke. The whirring of the lobotomy drill echoed through the halls, a chilling soundtrack to the asylum's descent into depravity. Each turn of the drill bit was a reminder of the inhumane practices that had become routine. The sound, once heard, was impossible to forget, embedding itself in the memories of those who survived. Electroshock therapy, another barbaric practice, became a weapon against the helpless patients. This treatment, which involved sending electric currents through the brain, was often administered without anesthesia, causing excruciating pain. The patients, already fragile, were subjected to repeated shocks, leaving them traumatized and disoriented. The screams of the tortured reverberated within the asylum, etching themselves onto its very soul. These cries of agony were a constant reminder of the suffering endured by the patients. The walls, floors, and ceilings seemed to absorb these sounds, creating an oppressive atmosphere that weighed heavily on anyone who entered. These treatments were less about healing and more about control. The doctors and staff wielded their power over the patients, using these brutal methods to maintain order and discipline. The patients, stripped of their dignity and autonomy, were reduced to mere objects of control and manipulation. The asylum, once a symbol of hope, had become a place of terror. Its grand architecture, which once promised a sanctuary for the mentally ill, now stood as a monument to human suffering. The building, with its crumbling walls and decaying interiors, mirrored the broken spirits of those who had been confined within. The ghosts of the tortured lingered, their anguish woven into the fabric of the building. These restless spirits, unable to find peace, haunted the halls and rooms where they had suffered. Their presence served as a haunting reminder of the atrocities committed within the asylum's walls, ensuring that the horrors of the past would never be forgotten. Section 4. The asylum's demise, a legacy of anguish. By 1994, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum could no longer hide its sinister secrets. Its doors finally clanged shut, a victory for human decency, but a Pyrrhic one at best. The asylum stood in silent condemnation of its past, a chilling reminder of man's inhumanity to man. Yet, even in its silence, the asylum refused to be forgotten. Whispers of paranormal activity began to circulate. The spirits of the mistreated and forgotten, unable to find peace, roamed the dilapidated halls. The asylum, once a place of suffering, had become a haven for the dead. Section 5. The Crying Woman, a Mother's Torment Echoes. One of the most haunting tales is that of the crying woman. Legend has it she was a patient separated from her child. This separation was not just a physical one, but an emotional and psychological rift that tore at the very fabric of her being. The asylum, a place meant for healing, became a prison of despair for her. The walls that confined her also confined her anguish, amplifying it until it became a palpable presence. Driven mad by grief, she roams the halls, her mournful cries echoing through the empty corridors. These cries are not just sounds, but echoes of a soul in torment, reverberating through time and space. Each sob is a testament to her undying love and unending sorrow, a haunting melody that lingers in the air long after it is heard. Visitors claim to hear her sobs, a chilling reminder of the asylum's brutal past. These sobs are said to be so heart-wrenching that they can bring even the most stoic of visitors to tears. This sound is described as a mix of sorrow and desperation, a cry for help that was never answered. It is a sound that once heard is never forgotten. Some even report seeing her, a spectral figure draped in white, her face etched with an eternal sorrow. This apparition is often seen standing at the end of long, dark hallways, her eyes filled with a sadness that seems to pierce through the very soul of those who see her. Her presence is both a comfort and a curse, a reminder of the love that once was and the pain that still is. Her cries, filled with the pain of a mother's loss, are said to be most intense near the asylum's former maternity ward. This ward, once a place of new beginnings, now stands as a monument to her suffering. The cribs that once held new life now hold only memories of what could have been. It is here that her presence is felt the strongest, her cries the loudest, as if she's forever searching for the child that was taken from her. It is a chilling reminder of the asylum's capacity for cruelty, a cruelty that continues to haunt its halls. The story of the crying woman is not just a ghost story, but a reflection of the very real suffering that took place within these walls. It serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of neglect and mistreatment, a cost that is still being paid by the souls who remain trapped in this place of torment. The crying woman's tale is a testament to the enduring power of a mother's love and the devastating impact of loss, a story that will continue to echo through the halls of the asylum for generations to come. Section 6. The Phantom Nurse, a glimpse into the past. In the shadowy corners of the old asylum, where the walls seem to whisper secrets of a bygone era, there exists a presence that sends chills down the spine of anyone who dares to enter. This presence is known as the Phantom Nurse, a spectral figure that has been the subject of countless stories and legends. Another unsettling presence is the Phantom Nurse. She is often seen wandering the dimly lit corridors, her footsteps echoing in the silence, creating an atmosphere of unease and mystery. Her appearance is both captivating and terrifying, a blend of the familiar and the otherworldly. Dressed in a pristine white uniform, she appears to unsuspecting visitors, her expression a chilling mix of concern and despair. Her eyes, though empty, seem to hold a depth of emotion that speaks of untold stories and unfulfilled duties. It's as if she is forever trapped in a moment of time, unable to move on from the tragedies that unfolded within these walls. Some believe she is the spirit of Margaret, a nurse who died within the asylum's walls. Margaret was known for her dedication and compassion, always putting her patients' needs above her own. However, the exact circumstances of her death remain shrouded in mystery, adding to the eerie allure of her ghostly presence. Was she a victim of the asylum's darkness, or did she succumb to the weight of her patients' suffering? The questions linger, unanswered, as her spirit continues to roam the halls. Some say they can hear her soft sobs in the dead of night, a mournful sound that echoes through the empty rooms. Her spectral presence offers a glimpse into the asylum's past, a past filled with both compassion and cruelty. The asylum was a place of healing for some, but for many it was a place of torment and despair. The Phantom Nurse embodies this duality, a symbol of the fine line between care and suffering. She is often seen pushing a medical cart down the corridors, the metal wheels squeaking against the aged linoleum. This haunting image is a stark reminder of the countless souls who suffered within the asylum's walls. The cart, once a tool of healing, now serves as a symbol of the pain and anguish that permeated the institution. It is a haunting image, a reminder of the countless souls who suffered within the asylum's walls. Each creak of the cart's wheels seems to carry the weight of the past, a past that refuses to be forgotten. The Phantom Nurse, with her silent vigil, ensures that the stories of those who lived and died here are never lost to time. Her presence is a testament to the enduring impact of the asylum's history, a history that continues to captivate and haunt those who dare to explore its depths.